Hi everybody, and welcome to the Photog channel, or maybe welcome back to the Photogs channel. So what I want to show you is basically we took a 2-night kind of long weekend trip to the Napa Valley, and I wanted to show you what you could do with a very simple camera setup. So all I took with me was my Panasonic G9, my Leica 12 to 60 millimeter lens, and then my Leica 50 to 200 millimeter lens. And that's all I traveled with, opposed to my video camera, which I was using to record the thing, but I don't count that because I didn't do any still photos with it. But it was just a matter of what you can do with it. So let me show you a few video clips from the trip, and then I will do kind of a brief wrap-up of what my method was and how I approached it, and we'll go from there. Without further ado, here we go. Also, one more thing, thanks in advance for watching this video. So today we're taking a little road trip, and one of the things with shooting photography is sometimes you just want to get away for a little getaway, but you don't want to bring a bunch of gear with you. So what I'm doing is we're traveling to Napa Valley today to spend 2 nights, and I'm just bringing 1 camera and 2 lenses. So that way you can kind of see in a really light travel package, what you can do with it. So we're going to enjoy the ride. I'll do some video and some shots along the way, and we'll see what happens. Okay, here we are in Yountville, and we're going to be doing some photography carrying just a few pieces of gear. All I've got is my Panasonic, my 50 to 200 Leica lens, and my 12 to 60 Leica lens. So that's it, and we're going to show you what great pictures we can get with just simple, lightweight, easy to bring with you gear. All right, let's go take some pictures. So one of the things I've learned in our extensive traveling that we've done locally, just because our trips are usually pretty focused around the summertime, just because my wife and I both work for schools. I work in the IT department of a local school, and my wife is a high school teacher. And so because of that, usually our vacations are planned way ahead of time. They're at least a year in advance for our planning. And then when we go on our trip, we're kind of stuck with the time when we're going. So no matter what happens with the weather or circumstances or what's going on, this is when we have time to go. And you can't choose that. And that's pretty normal. So usually, even though one of the reasons we're going somewhere is for photography or, as part of the trip, that's not the only reason we're going. So in all the trips we've taken, we've done a lot of things to national parks. We've traveled to Canada and also to the East Coast. I live in the West Coast. I live here in California. And we stay close to home. In fact, this trip here, of course, was to the Napa Valley. And that's just a very simple overnight trip for us. So it's a great way to showcase what you can do with just a simple setup. So as you're walking around, you can find all kinds of great things to shoot. Just around this town, there's wonderful sculpture here behind me with this really great oak tree. And so what I'm using is both these elements to create kind of this juxtaposition where you've got the sculpture with the tree behind you. It's just kind of interesting. So this is what stopped and kind of caught my attention. So I'm going to stick here for a little bit, take a few shots here and there, and see how this turns out. Okay, here we go.
It's just
Hey everybody, and as I'm walking around Yountville, what I'm doing is I'm looking for little elements because there's lots of little pieces of artwork and textures, and those are the type of things I'm looking for when I'm shooting. That way, same thing. When you're traveling, sometimes you don't get to pick what time of day you're out and about or what kind of weather you're in. So a lot of times that's what I try and do is look for little things little things I notice along the way. But I just look around and try and find stuff as I go. At least that's my method.
But I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh.
So sometimes when you're just driving around, you'll see something you really catches your eye. I always like to stop and take a couple shots if it's off the beaten trail, just because you never know what you're going to find. And just driving along the road, we came onto this little abandoned building. It just looked really cool, so I thought I'd take a few shots, and so here we are. One of the things that usually happens when I'm out shooting and doing photography, especially during a little short trip, is the weather and also the light. Because, of course, the golden hour for photography is the hour before sunrise and then the hour after sunrise. Those are the two times which are really exceptional for landscape photography. But typically, that's not when we're out and about. I have two daughters that we travel with, and for the most part, we're traveling as a family. So really early in the morning or really late in the night, we're either still asleep or we're going to dinner or we're coming back from dinner. So, those are the things we kind of are flexible with when we go shoot. So if you're out shooting on vacation and the lighting's not great, there's a few things you can do to kind of counteract that. One of the things I like to do is focus on small little encapsulated things that catch my interest. Textures, juxtapositions. One of the pictures you'll see is this yellow iron or metal sculpture with an oak tree in the background. I like that juxtaposition of the man-made metal object opposed to the very natural, very old oak tree behind it. So I try and look for those things as I'm shooting to try and capture interest or something, that really kind of attracts me to, oh, that's kind of interesting. And that's one reason too why I feel that AI, even though it is a great tool, it's not going to replace photography, because nothing can replace your vision and how you see things. And that's one of the important things about photography. It's the human nature behind the camera, something that sees you, that you are interested in, that brings that art into the image. And no AI can do that. So one of the things I'd like to know is, what's your favorite travel kit when you go somewhere for a little overnight trip or a little brief vacation or long weekend? What are your favorite tools to use? For the most part on this one, to be honest, I am very new to Micro Four Thirds. This Panasonic G9, which I bought, I don't think it's been a month ago, but it's been shorter, a little under a month, maybe 3 weeks. I really haven't had that much time to shoot with it yet. This is really the first trip where I had it and it only as my photographic tool. My main camera and setup is a Sony 7R3. Is my primary camera kit, and that's where I have also the majority of the lenses and my investment in lenses. But this G9 was so fun to shoot with, and it was like, you know what, I got to give it a chance, and let's have some fun with it. Also, really quickly, I want to thank everyone for watching the channel. You'll notice things are a little different around me here. Just to do something fun and to create kind of a little place where I can do this photography video. I've set up this little mini YouTube set for myself, and I hope you like it. I went with a black background because it absorbs light. And in the space I had, it was just a great place to do it, a great color for it, because it helps me control my lighting a little bit better. So that's why I chose the black background. And I have some of my favorite photo paraphernalia stuck back here on the wall. Good place to store it. Takes up less closet space, which kind of makes my wife happy. She wants her closets back badly.